You're too tired. Why? Because when you're driving, you have to see which lane you are, which lane to cut into, which exit. And then while doing all that, you have to be aware of the surrounding. If there is there any car coming from the side? Is the distance too far from the car in front? Is the distance too far? Is the car too fast at the back? So all these things, what is depleting is actually your willpower. The decisions that you make to analyze all these things is actually using up your willpower. Huh?
So it means find a job that near to your house.
No, we don't conclude so fast first. We don't conclude so fast first. It's something like that. Yeah, because you make a lot of decisions in the morning and then driving here, you make a lot of decisions. And then it's the same for shopping. If you look at shopping, right? Let's say we go for, because we have done it. Let's say we go for window shopping. We go to a shopping mall and then just look around. Compared to you go for grocery shopping. Which one will you be more tired? Grocery, exactly. Why? Because you have to walk the aisle, find the stuff, pick it, compare the price, compare the volume, right? And you need to pay. Yes. You have to find all these things in a list with a list, and then you have to pay. So you're making a lot of decisions, right? Now compared to window shopping, you're just walking around here and there, just looking. Of course, grocery shopping is much more tired. And then some girls will start to argue. You see, grocery shopping, it is actually tired compared to the husband staying at home. Right? You actually use up a lot of your willpower. So with all this information itself, imagine if you own a supermarket now. Groceries inside, you're selling, you own this shop. I'm sure you guys have seen when you enter the entrance or somewhere in the shop, you will see some promoters holding a plate, giving out testers.
Yeah.
So where are they usually strategically placed? Are they placed at the entrance? Where are they placed?
At the product.
Near the product. Near the product is quite far from the entrance already, right?
Yeah.
So you think about it, when you enter the shop itself, you walk around, you try to find all these products that you need to buy. Your willpower is depleting. And then suddenly a girl comes to you and say, try this. What will you say? You try it and say, tastes good. Usually do we buy? No? Depends. You take some more. Yeah. Usually when the willpower is depleted or very low, the brain would fall back to the default mode. Default means anything is okay. Yeah. Anything is okay. As long as it's there, I just take. I don't have to think really. I don't feel like thinking really because I'm making too many decisions and then I'm tired now. And then now, after you push your trolley to the cashier, then you realize. Then you realize on the side there is candy bar. You look at it. Okay, I'll take one. What is that? Glucose. Sugar.
Oh, yeah.
Because your willpower is low, your brain will feel like, I need something. I need to eat something. I just feel like eating something. Then when you are there lining up, you saw a sweet.
You know what? At the cashier, they got sweet selling. They put all the sweet drink or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you just take you can call it tactic. Yes, you can call it tactic. But understanding how the human brain works, after making all these decisions, your willpower is low, you just fall to default. Anything that's been presented, most likely you'll say okay. Then when checkout, the sweet is there, you just look at it and say, okay, I'll just take one. Then you go out. So that's very interesting. Shopping, in terms of shopping. And then same thing for girls. There's this phase called the luteal phase. Are you guys familiar with luteal phase? No? There's a more common word is called the menstrual cycle. Every month you have this menstrual cycle. And then there is that particular month, guys will call it, these girls are PMSing. It's like they are a different animal now. So what is happening in at this menstrual cycle is all the energy is being channeled downwards. Glucose level is at its lowest, and then you are losing blood. Energy is down. So when all this thing is down, what is down? Willpower is down. When your willpower is down, what happens then? Now we look back at the start. What is willpower? Willpower consists of 4 things, right? Control of thoughts, number 1. Number 2, control of emotion. Number 3, impulse control. Then number 4, performance control. So if you are having menstrual cycle, your willpower is low. Number 1, control of thoughts. You start to think rubbish things. For girls. Second thing, control of emotions. Because it's hard to control already. Then your emotions start to go everywhere. That's why guys start to say, what is wrong with her? It must be that man again. Then the third, impulse control. When you are in that month, in the menstrual cycle, you tend to let loose. Whatever feel like eating, you just eat. So that is impulse control. Because your willpower is low. And then the fourth one, performance control. In terms of determination, perseverance, doing things, focusing, you tend to give up quickly. Same thing because of this menstrual cycle. Because the willpower is low. So how then to increase all these things? Now that you know, then you also know that you need glucose, in this case, sugar. So there are apparently good sugars and bad sugars. Now we are ignoring completely those artificial sugars, yeah? Artificial sugars is useless. It doesn't serve any purpose. Right? It doesn't serve any purpose. Even though you feel sweet, it's doing nothing to you. Yeah, it's just taste only. So it's not doing anything to your glucose level, nothing. So the best thing you can do is just ignore all these things. So there is good food and bad food. And then we look at our norm itself. Sometimes there are some people in the morning, this type of people, once they come in the morning, they'll usually drink a cup of coffee. Iced latte, cappuccino. What is happening then?
Filling up the glucose.
No, actually, coffee is actually. No. Coffee will deplete the willpower more. It will deplete the willpower more. It's not sweet. It takes the nutrition away. Then you become dehydrated.
Oh man.
Yes, you become dehydrated. But then you think about it. You think about it for a second. When you go to a 5-star hotel or restaurant, when you order a coffee, cappuccino or latte, whatever, you order coffee, and then the server will serve you. What do you see on the table? There is water, there is coffee, and then right beside the coffee, there's a biscuit. Usually this biscuit is very sweet. When you eat it, you taste good.
Next to the coffee.
So that's how you should drink your coffee, right? You look at it. Why is the 5-star hotel giving for appearance?
Italian punya concept.
Yeah, I don't know whether is this a norm or what, but somehow this 5-star or 7-star hotel tend to know this type of tricks. Because coffee itself will dehydrate your body. You take away all this, in this case, willpower. So how to replenish all these things? A cookie right beside the coffee. That will do it really. Kit Kat. So we go back to good food and bad food. What is a bad food? Bad food, let's just call it a more scientific term. We call it low glycemic food. All right, low glycemic food, which means good food is called low glycemic food, and then the bad food is called the high glycemic food or high sugar content. For example, rice. Rice is considered high glycemic food. That means after you eat, your glucose level will shoot up very fast, and then very quickly it will come back down. Once it comes back down, similar to what hypo is, It went up to diabetic level, and then it come back down to hypo. Once you're in hypo, you feel the urge to eat again. You feel the urge to eat something again, or eat something sweet. And then you eat again. And then when you eat, the things that you eat is also high glycemic food, which means bad sugar. You eat again, and then the glucose level will spike again, and very quickly, it will come back down again. Then you realize over the whole day, you start to eat non-stop and munch. And all the while you are eating all this so-called not that healthy food. Right? So you're eating all this food that causes the sugar level, the glucose, the sugar level to spike up very high, very fast, and then very quickly drop down. And then once you drop, you tend to eat more. So throughout the whole day, you just keep eating and eating. Then you start to gain weight, and then you don't realize why. So there are proper way of eating. That means by choosing low glycemic food. Low glycemic food, that means is food that after you consume, the sugar level, instead of like rice, you spike up suddenly, right? This is gradually going up, and then gradually coming down. So this is what I call low glycemic food. For example, fruits, nuts, and then protein, meat, fish, things like that. So when you eat more low glycemic food, your glucose level would go up gradually, and then it will come down gradually. Compared to the other food, it will spike up very high and then come back very fast. Once you have that drop, people usually call it withdrawal. All right. Once you have that withdrawal symptom, you start to eat more. You go and take a snack again, chocolate again, and things like that. Then same thing for, now we bring this understanding to court. Now bring it to court. You start to realize, if you were to compile all these court cases, how the judge decide the penalty or decide parole, you start to realize the best or the most lenient penalty given by a judge is usually in the morning or after food or after lunch. So let's say I kill a person and my friend here kill a person as well, for example. So if my court hearing was on the morning, that means the morning, which means when the judge finishes his breakfast, after the judge finishes his breakfast. So my sentence would be definitely lower. Compared to my friend here, his hearing is in 5 p.m. in the afternoon. Which means after a whole day, the judge already made a lot of decisions. Then when it comes to him, his sentence will be higher compared to me, even though both of us, we have done the same thing, exactly the same way. Right? The result for him will be worse. For me, it will be better. Because in a way, yeah, it's a little unfair. There are also court cases where the lawyers brought in, the lawyers actually use sugar, glucose as a defense. Yeah, you can actually Google on that as well. So same thing for my friend here. He got a more harsher penalty. I got a more lenient penalty. Why? All because the glucose level in the judge was higher for me, and then for my colleague, let's say, for him is lower. After a whole day of decision making, the judge willpower actually deplete. And when it gets depleted, you want to stay default. You just want to pass time. That's all. You want to pass time. So I got a very. Let's just try this. Imagine you guys on a Monday. You started work early at 7 a.m. in the morning. You work throughout the day until 5 p.m. And then you realize your client asks you to create a new proposal. So you continue working from 5 p.m. all the way to 9 p.m. at night. Now imagine this scenario. Once at 9 p.m., you finish your proposal, you hand in to your customer, then suddenly on the screen itself, an advertisement pop up. The advertisement, inside the advertisement, will have a girl, a very sexy girl, right, for the guys. For the girls, a very handsome man. This advertisement pop up, and then this advertisement say, 300 USD, spend 2 hours with this person. Okay? What will you do? Choice number 1. Reserve, in this case, reserve and pay. Okay? Choice number 2, bookmark it and pay later. Choice number 3, pay now. Or choice number 4, ignore the advertisement. What will you do?
Bookmark and pay later.
Huh? What happened? The advertisement pop up. What is he actually promoting? For the guys, it is actually promoting prostitution, yeah? Which is something illegal. For the guys, same thing. Yeah. No, not chit chatting. It's not chit chatting. Prostitution is then promoted.
Got it.
Okay. No, I'm asking you to think. What will you do? A, B, C, D. Ignore. Most of you will ignore. Yes, the correct answer is ignore, because maybe all of you here, the willpower is quite high. But if you look at some histories, the past examples that have happened, we have seen things like in US, there's these important people, those Senate, right, or even superstars. You start to hear them paying for all these type of services. Then for a normal person, why would you want to do that? You're so rich. Why you want to go and find a prostitute? So what happens is, after the whole day of energy depletion, your willpower is depleted. Once you see ads like that, usually those people will just click and reserve and pay the money. And worse, you are president of some club, you are somebody that's reputable, you pay the money, you bang in the money, now there's a wire transfer history connecting you to the prostitution company. But then, when the person is doing it, he didn't think of all these things, because his brain is just too tired. So all these things he'll just ignore and then just go for whatever he wants. Of course, that's not the right way. So in these type of cases, we can see that these people have a very low willpower, because depleted, all the decisions that is made, and then he's so tired. He just wants something. So when we look at let's say press conference, we look at companies like Facebook, look at companies like Google, or even Apple itself, you start to realize that Steve Jobs, usually when he's out presenting a new phone, right, a new product on stage, what do he usually wear? Every time the things that he wears is the same: black t-shirt, jeans, sports pants, sports shoe. That's all. Mark Zuckerberg, same thing. Gray shirt, long pants. That's all. Every day he wear the same thing. What are they trying to do here? Yeah. In a way, they are trying to reserve the willpower. If you look at Steve Jobs himself, on the day during the press conference, there are a lot of decisions that he need to make. He need to make sure his presentation is on point, every detail is correct. So instead of staying at home, deciding what to wear, you just make it, standardize it, so you don't have to use any energy in this case to decide. That's why you start to see these people that they wear the same thing every day. And then they have multiple versions of it. And it's the same for those like Google, big companies, and even more Chinese companies we see these days. In the office itself, they have their own canteen. That means they'll provide breakfast, they'll provide lunch, but they'll not provide dinner. Because for a person to breakfast, in terms of breakfast, for a person to go out and buy and then eat, and then drive all the way back to the company itself, your willpower is depleted. But then if all you have to do is drive, and then once you reach the company, eat in the company's canteen, instantly your willpower gets replenished. Same thing for lunch. All you have to do is come down to the canteen, same building, eat the food, go back up to work. Well, that's how the bigger companies is doing. That's their norm. Then you start to build, when you look at willpower, then you start to see what companies is doing. You start to see a correlation. Oh, why are they doing all these things? Are they doing this because of efficiency, effectiveness, and things like that? And then at the same time, companies, newer companies, they have a lot of snacks. Right? At their pantry, they have a lot of snacks. Usually, when you look at those snacks, they are all sweets, all glucose. All sweet stuff. Yeah. Just to replenish the willpower itself. So now you understand roughly what willpower is. It is something that it looks like a power bank. Wherever we make decisions, willpower will get depleted. Sometimes it depletes very fast, right? And then David Blaine's example, we know that willpower can actually be trained. You can actually get more willpower. So now we're going to look at how to increase your willpower then. But before I go into that, there's this word that I like to talk about first. It's called Zeigarnik effect. Do you guys know Zeigarnik effect? Z-E-I-G-A-R-N-I-C.
Zeigarnik effect.
Yeah.
Okay.
No? Maybe you're not very familiar in Zeigarnik effect. But let me give you an example. The example will be, your friend sings a song to you, right? Your friend sings a song, and then after a while, after your friend left, after a while, your brain will keep thinking about that song again and again and again, over and over again, right? What is happening then?
Provided he like you. Someone that you like lah.
Huh?
Don't like you.
That is actually Zeigarnik effect. Huh? Then how do you stop it? How do you stop the song from playing automatically in your brain?
Divert the thinking.
So there is a latest research about Zeigarnik effect. But then let's go back to the initial research about Zeigarnik. How Zeigarnik was formed. There's this story. A group of students, professors and students from university, all of them were going for lunch. Once they reached the restaurant, the waiter came, and then everyone ordered. Right? Everyone ordered, and then the waiter just listened. After that, one of the professors said, "Can you actually remember all the orders?" The waiter said, "Yes, of course, I can remember everything." And then the waiter left. After eating, the professors left. All of them, they left together. And suddenly, one of the professors said, "I left something in the restaurant. I want to go and get it back." Okay, so this professor went back to the restaurant and tried to find that product that he left on the table. Then when he saw the waiter, he approached the same waiter, and said, "Did you see the things that are left behind?" The waiter looked at him. The waiter looked at the professor and said, "Who are you?" The professor said, "I was eating at that table. You can't remember me?" And then the